21st. 21st? No, it isn't. It's Wednesday, the 25th of January. I'm Stephen Ridgway, and I clearly can't remember what day of the week it is. There we go. Wouldn't that be nice to roll back and have some more time? GoTo, formerly LogMeIn, is warning customers that threat actors who breached its development environment in November last year stole encrypted backups containing customer information and also stole an encryption key for at least a proportion of that data. So back in November, GoTo disclosed that there had been a breach of a development environment and some storage services that are used by both GoTo and the affiliate LastPass. So we talked about that, in autumn last year. Further information has come to light about this, and it does appear then that the data exfiltrated includes backups from Central and Pro account usernames, Central and Pro account passwords, which are salted and hashed, which is helpful but not necessarily a complete protection. Information about deployment and provisioning, one-to-many scripts, multi-factor authentication information, and licensing and purchase details, emails, phone numbers, billing addresses, and so on and so forth. GoTo is resetting Central and Pro passwords for impacted customers, and they are automatically migrating accounts to GoTo's enhanced identity management platform, which provides extra security around accounts. So, yeah, okay. Couple of things that strike me from this. One is this is clearly production data that's been accessed via a breach in a dev environment. Okay, it may not be that the production data was in dev, but clearly either that is the case or dev had access, or a production environment was accessible via dev or via things that could be breached in dev, which is frankly bad architecture. If you're architecting systems to be secure, your dev environment should be not in a position where it can be used to compromise production. Challenging in some organizations, I appreciate, but it is something to be thought about, because generally organizations take less care around patching and securing dev environments. They're very dynamic. They're full of people developing stuff, testing things, doing all sorts of stuff, whereas production environments should be much more stable. So, well, yeah, okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, you need to avoid storing encrypted data and the keys to that encrypted data in the same place. So think about that again. Security architecture failure there, perhaps. I don't know the details, but yeah, definitely think very much about key management. Encryption is all well and good, but it's only as good as the way in which you protect your keys. VMware has plugged critical code execution flaws in the vRealize Log Insight products. The vulnerability would allow attackers to take control of a target system. vRealize Log Insight is a log collection and analytics virtual appliance used by admins to collect, view, manage, and analyze syslog data. The vulnerabilities, there are 4 vulnerabilities that have been patched, and they've got scores of 9.8. Well, the most severe has got a score of 9.8 out of 10. Basically, it is therefore urgent, if you are using that tool, to look for the patches and apply those in as timely a manner as you can do it. So, two Apple-related articles. First one, Apple has released security updates for multiple products. So if you're running iOS, macOS, Safari, so on and so forth, definitely check for updates, check for patches, make sure those are being applied. Hopefully, they're being applied automatically in the background. If that is not happening in a timely fashion, you can nudge your device into getting the patches in a manual way, usual way. One of the things that's interesting about this is that they have backported one of the patches to iOS 12. So that is in response to the fact that threat actors have been seen to be exploiting the WebKit security flaw that was available for in earlier Apple releases. So if you've got an iPhone 5S, iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, iPad Air, iPad Mini 2, iPad Mini 3, 6th generation iPod Touch, um, um, you do now have the ability to patch this particular vulnerability. So strongly advise, even if you are running an older piece of Apple hardware, you go back and check to make sure that you are getting the patches that are being applied. Unusual for Apple to backport to older versions of iOS. However, well done to them for that. Where there are serious flaws and devices out there, it's been a while since I've had an iPhone 5, but there are still devices out there that are not. Haven't been receiving updates from Apple for a while. So, although Apple is cagey about releasing end of life statements, I think you can be confident that if your device is either current generation or certainly the previous generation or the generation before that, you are most likely to be able to get updates. It's one of those things to keep an eye on. When do these updates stop being applied to your device? But there we are. That one is quite a good thing. And then finally from me today, 75,000 WordPress sites have been impacted by critical flaws in online course plugins. So there's a plugin for WordPress called LearnPress. LearnPress is a learning management system. It's a learning management system plugin that allows WordPress websites to create and sell online courses, lessons, quizzes. It's friendly interface. Requires very little in the way of coding. Nice to use. The plugin has been used in over 100,000 sites. It appears that the plugin has a vulnerability. The vulnerability was discussed and discovered. Well, certainly issues were discussed in November, December last year. The patch was released on the 20th of December last year. However, only about 25% of websites have applied the update. So yes, we are saying, yeah, it's another one, please patch, but to bring it to people's attention, the vulnerabilities are serious enough that patches should be being applied, and certainly there's been time now to see whether the patches create any problems. If they have, they will have been fixed. So if you are part of the 75% of people who have not patched, or sites that have not been patched, seriously consider upgrading. The upgrade is to LearnPress version 4.2.0 or above. So if you're on 4.1, 3.2 or anything earlier than that, you may well be sitting on a vulnerable website. Further information in the article that we will link to this, yeah, that's one of those things. Keep on top of the plugins for WordPress. It is hard work, but it is something that has to be done. So that was all from me for today. Thank you for listening, and I shall be back tomorrow.